What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the stream. I have a very special guest today. Josue, introduce yourself. Let everyone know who you are, what you're doing here, and yeah.
My name is Josue, as he said. I also go by JJ. I am a YouTuber. I started my spiritual journey a couple of years ago, so I've been sharing that with everybody. I call myself a multidimensional being because I'm noticing that there's just so much more to this world. So I'm exploring that and I'm having a lot of fun. It's not easy, it's not always fun, but it's always worth it. So I'm just here to share my story and share my knowledge.
Perfect. All right, before we get into it, I'm going to hop on social media, just make sure everything's running smoothly. Get the word out to Twitter that we're live, Instagram maybe. But how you doing, man? How's your day been?
My day's been pretty good. Met some old friends at my old job in the city. That was
Yeah,
pretty cool, where they're at, and just yeah, still learning and growing through everything.
absolutely.
It's a beautiful day outside though, so I gotta
Yeah,
enjoy it. How
yeah,
was yours?
it was very beautiful. I worked all day, but good thing I work outside and with kids. So
That's all.
it was cool. You know, it was hot. It was real good. The kids were awesome, but like you said, beautiful day to be outside, right?
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
All right, so we're good on YouTube. Um, I'm gonna just go out to Twitter real quick. Let the people know we're live. So what are you doing right now? Are you working or?
Right now, I'm not working. Been mainly focusing on YouTube and my just my spiritual journey. Been helping out a lot of people.
I respect it.
Uh, Yeah, but yeah, I will be working soon. Been looking for a job. Um, yeah, it's been hectic, man. I think this is. I thought that the like when I turned 25, I thought that was the hardest year of my life. But
Yeah,
then this year came, and I don't know if you're into numerology, but it's an 11 year, which is the year of illumination. So a lot of things are coming to light. A lot of darkness is coming to the light. A lot of things are coming to the surface for a lot of people, and it's
interesting.
unpredictable. And but I've learned so much. I have learned so much about myself. I've learned so much about the world.
Yeah,
It's like stepping into a whole new world, really. And so it's really just been adjusting to that and, coming back into society once again, because once you start that journey, you almost just want to like leave everything behind. It's like, yo, this world has
exactly.
issues. It's crazy. Like, why would I want to be here? You just want to leave, but then you realize, you came here for a reason. You're here. It's not a mistake that you're here. So it's like
Absolutely.
that balance between your material and your spiritual needs. So yeah, it's coming along nicely.
Hey man, whatever path is in your vibration right now, that's where you gotta go, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you
All
just
right,
gotta.
so let's get into this. First off, I think you told everyone your name, but tell everyone who you are and explain to them what you do.
Alright. So I have my platform is called Hear Me Raw, and it's about self-expression. I notice a lot in this world, many of us are not really speaking out. We're not speaking our truth, and I've realized that a lack of suppression leads to depression. And I went through depression for such a long time, most of my life even. I look back and I was like, wow, I really didn't like myself, and I really wasn't. I used to keep my mouth shut. I never had a lot of faith or a lot of trust in my
Right.
self-worth is pretty low, which is gonna be the same for a lot of people out there because we're all very sensitive people. We're all connected, like we can feel what's going on, even if we deny it, even if we are thinking in the world in terms of like 3D terms, we're not going the spiritual route, we can still see the sadness and everything that's going on in the world. Uh, but I always sensed that there was something wrong that I didn't truly understand it, but as I've been eating healthier, so the hear me raw, essentially, there's a couple of things about it. So of course, hear me is about listen, like you're hearing me raw, uncut,
Right.
uncensored. It,
Cut you off real quick, but when I first heard that name, I was trying to pick it apart. I was like, "Hear me raw." I was like, because it was such a unique name. I was trying to pick it apart. So I'm definitely excited to hear what you got to say about this. Keep going.
Yeah, hear me raw. So you hear me uncut, uncensored. Like I think my name on Instagram before that was I am real. You know, I was literally like I was trying to figure out like
Yeah.
who I am. So like I am real. Like I wanted when I said that was I was wanting the truth. And one of my tattoos is it's in Latin. It says Veritas Lux Mea, which means truth is my light. So I was seeking the truth. Hear Me Raw came about when I realized like I was not able to raise my voice. So I went out into nature and I was like, why couldn't I raise my voice? You know, I was trying to tell people that I was trying to say to myself that I belong on this earth, you know, and I was trying to say it, but clearly I didn't really believe it because I had a hard time really speaking up. So I went into nature. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna scream. So I screamed like a couple of times, and then I thought about Hear Me Roar, but I'm like, nah, Hear Me Raw. Like that's a good name.
Yeah.
Um, so it was really just about like speaking out, you know. And then lately it's also been about singing. Singing music is powerful. It's a powerful tool. And you know, I do my potlucks every month, and I do a couple potlucks actually. Sometimes in Natick, Cambridge, and even in Hyde Park. I've done them at three different locations.
In Natick,
And
I gotta come through, man. What the heck?
for sure. If you're into music, dancing, man, or into anything, like, cause like
Absolutely.
expression happens in so many different ways. We've had people play the guitar, drums, sing, play the piano, you know, read a poem, dance, you know. So we have multiple different things. So like, there's a lot of talent that's like coming up, and a lot of people that are coming out of their shells to express themselves. You know,
Yeah,
it's a beautiful thing. Um,
that's pretty amazing.
yeah. So that's really the gist of it. It's about expression. It's about being your true self, being your authentic self. Because I
Uh-huh.
felt like I was not myself, and not and that spirit, that awakening journey, it really takes you from being your lower self to your higher self. Like you're connecting with your higher self. You're being more of your higher self. Like I have days where I'm just like I don't even feel like this is my body. I'm still getting used to this new body, to this new mindset that I have
Yeah,
because I lived in fear for so long. Now I'm learning how to walk in love, and it's not an easy thing because sometimes you might fall back, and I've fallen back many times, back and forth. It's been a back and forth journey, but I'm grateful for it all because it taught me so many lessons. I'm grateful for I ended up getting kidney stones. That's what led me to eating better. You know,
really.
I I ate like crap, man. I tell you, if I can tell you my diet from before, you'd be like, whoa. But yeah, that disease, like that was a sign. That was my body telling me, man, you got to turn around. And after the disease, my body literally did take charge and kind of made me eat fruits and vegetables. And that's when my awakening was like, skyrocketed. And that's when I
Right.
started going to nature and meditating and really going within. I've even astral projected once, and that was beautiful and scary at the same
Wow.
time. So it's like there's so
Yeah,
much more.
man. A lot of people, unfortunately, a lot of people wait to the last moment to, to get the like the click in their head. You know what I mean? For you, unfortunately, I'm hoping you're doing well now. You had to go through kidney stones, and you waited a little while for something almost detrimental to happen to your body to get the wake up call. But we always say it's never too late. So good thing you made that transition now, and I respect that. And my next question was going to be, where did you get your name, Hear Me Raw? But you just explained that to us. But I understand that you're like a full vegan. What do you call it? Like a raw vegan?
I am a high raw vegan, and I possibly could do fully raw. Like lately, in the last couple of weeks, I have been about like 95% raw. But when
Okay.
I first started, yeah, I was like fully raw. My body just didn't want anything cooked because I think it's a healing thing, and there's still things I need to heal from. So the raw thing is very important. I'm going to be doing my best to probably go somewhere where it's more accessible, and like
Right.
Hawaii. Hawaii's been on my mind just to kind of heal, get away, take a break from society.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
So
a
real
beautiful
quick,
thing though.
real quick, break it down to us and the people that are watching. What's the difference between like being a vegetarian or being a regular vegan in terms of being like a raw or a full vegan?
Alright, so vegetarian, you can still you don't eat animal flesh, but you can. I think vegetarians they still eat honey, milk, eggs, and things like that. So they just don't eat animal flesh.
Yeah.
Vegan, they can eat as long as there's no animal products involved, they can eat it. And when it comes to veganism, there's so many things because then you got things like palm oil that aren't considered vegan because it just causes so much harm. So there's a lot of things to it. There's gelatin. There's so many things like white sugar is not vegan if you didn't know. There's a
Really?
lot of there's
Is
yeah
it brown
they
sugar
use
then?
brown sugar, yeah, brown sugar, cane sugar, but like white sugar itself, like you never want to eat white sugar. There's no good, there's no benefits, and they use the
Interesting.
bone marrow of animals to whiten it, so it's actually not vegan.
Wow, that
Yeah,
must go a
so
lot of research into that.
it's a lifelong thing, man. It's
Yeah,
like you realize that you might have gone through so much of your life never asking questions. You never ask like, what is this ingredient? Because there's a lot of things that you see these things, but you have no idea what they are. And most of us don't take the time to look it up. But when I went vegan, I started looking up the ingredients. I was like, the food colorings, all the chemicals. Like some people, because on the vegan route, you can still get very sick. That's why I
yeah,
promote the fruits and vegetables because there are chemical vegans out there. There are people out there just eating chemicals. Because like if you look at Oreos, that's just straight chemicals. There's nothing really real in that anymore. It's just a bunch of chemicals put together.
right.
Um, there's the junk food vegans. Then there's the whole food plant-based vegans, and then you got the raw vegans. So the raw vegans, of course, they don't eat anything processed, so they focus on the raw fruits and vegetables. And mostly the raw vegan route goes to the people that go that route are going there for healing. That's the best way to heal. It's like giving your body a break from everything. It's alkalizing your body, having the fruits and vegetables like help you to detox. Fruits is the highest vibrational food. Like since I when I went raw and then now that I'm mostly raw, there's so many things that I don't need anymore, and I've learned so much. I have a better relationship with the sun. Many people don't have a good relationship with the sun because their bodies are just that sick that they're allergic to
Yeah,
the sun. You see that a lot of people get sick, and when you get sick, it's literally your body turning itself on you. Your body's attacking itself. You know, that's what it
yeah,
is. So when you live in harmony with your body, when you eat right, you drink a lot of water, you get sunlight, you go out into nature, you keep yourself balanced. That's the thing. What happens when you clean yourself out, your intuition comes back, and you remember how to take care of yourself. Because you
mm,
got everybody here trying to figure out how to eat, how to live. It's like no one knows how to take care of themselves, and we do have that intuition, that inner guide within us. It's just that the other food, I say food is information. The processed foods will cause you to be processed. The genetically modified foods cause you to be genetically modified. You
right.
know, fried foods literally will fry your gut. You are what you eat. So what happens to your food happens to you. So that's why I focus a lot on the raw living foods because I want to live. And yeah, it's amazing.
Interesting. I've never heard that perspective before. I've heard like, oh, you are what you eat, but when you say like you eat fried foods, then you will end up being fried yourself.
Mm.
You know what I mean? You
Yeah,
end up eating processed, you'll be processed yourself. And I like how you said, I eat live foods because I want to be alive. I've never
yeah,
heard that perspective before. That's pretty awesome. And I
yeah.
was I was gonna ask you, what motivated you to become, the full vegan? And obviously, you mentioned that you had kidney stones, so something was happening to you physically. But are there any other things that motivated you to change to this type of lifestyle?
Yeah, initially when I was first was vegan, I speak about junk food vegans because I was a junk food vegan for about a year.
Yeah,
When I first went vegan, it was only for the animals and for the environment. I watched a video by Vegan Gains and he showed me like what was happening and I was like, and I heard some of this stuff before. I had even written it down in school, when I was in school, I did a paper when I was writing about that and so this information was shown to me before. And I considered myself smart, but somehow I didn't make the connections back then. But now I was ready to make a change. So I heard that information, watched the speech by Gary Yourofsky, and I went vegan overnight. I was like, okay, I knew there was something wrong. And this was the first time I actually did something, bigger than myself. I did it for the animals, I did it for the environment.
right.
Um, yeah, and then I still ended up getting kidney stones because I was a junk food vegan. Like I was just eating a bunch of vegan processed foods, and I was like, and I in my mind I was like, it's vegan, so it must be healthy, but that's not the
Yeah,
case. That stuff can actually be worse than the stuff that you were eating before because it's more processed. Like the vegan meats, for instance, you want to like if you're gonna eat vegan meats, there's better options than like the processed ones. You can do like mushrooms, eggplant. They're natural. Jackfruit is another good vegan meats to that you can eat because that's actually still whole. It's not totally processed, but
yeah.
a lot of them are processed. A lot of them are just wheat. So a lot of the vegan meats are pretty dangerous. So that's why I don't go towards them so much. Even if it's vegan, it's still processed. It's still not good for you. Your body doesn't know what it is. Sometimes they're also filled with oils as well. So I keep it as clean as possible now. But yeah, so did for the animals and the environment because The way that the majority of us are eating in this world right now, we are literally eating the planet. We're literally eating ourselves. Like I said, it goes back to the body attacking itself. It's like we're literally just attacking ourselves. I look back at how I used to eat, anxiety, depression, things like that. Um, it's so easy to see like the way the animals feel gets transferred to us. Like their fear, their anxiety, what's happening to them, it happens to us. Like that's another thing about you are what you eat. You eat fear and you'll become fearful. Since I've been eating cleaner, I've been
Wow.
getting rid of fear.
I
Yeah,
like that. You
it's
eat fear, you become fearful. I like that.
you eat a caged animal, you feel like a caged animal. That's why you have so many people dealing with claustrophobia and anxiety. These are literally what the animals are going through. And energy is never destroyed; it can only be transferred. So the energy of that animal gets transferred to you. So it's very simple. And I like to put, when I talk about veganism, I put it into those terms because people can relate to that. I don't really go towards the science route because there's a lot of information out there. And when it comes to science, if the company has money, they can put out any type of research they want. So if you go the science route, they're gonna have a rebuttal for you. They're gonna bring up some research, and it could be fake research, because these companies have money and they can fund research to say exactly what they want to say.
Right.
So
They
the
don't want to
science
they don't want to lose their money.
yeah. The science route, you get to a lot of arguments. But when you go to spiritual route and the philosophical route, it's just simple. It's plain and simple. It's the truth. It's what you see. You can see the change in people that are eating healthier, that are eating a lot of fruit compared to a lot of people that are eating processed foods and people that are eating meat, dairy, and eggs. There's a big difference, if they're really off balance and that's all that they're eating.
That's awesome. That's I've tried I had a goal this year. I wanted to take a week out of every month and stop eating meat for that 1 week, to build myself up.
Mm.
And I did it for about a month or two, and then eventually it just stopped being a priority. So I was like, dang, I really gotta, make sure I get this down. So whereas like it just becomes like a monthly habit, and eventually I can start doing it like twice a week, and then all the time. But that's something I definitely want to do, and I'm aware that there are many foods that aren't healthy for me, especially meat, and I'm fully aware that I think it's just now having the discipline to take the action to changing the lifestyle and not waiting long enough for something to happen to my body to change. Because I always hear that like, oh, people always wait too long, and then like it's almost like too late. And I was like, dang, I don't want to do that. So hearing you speak about that has definitely really motivated me some more to start changing my lifestyle a little more, especially with my eating habits and stuff.
Yeah, man. And you got plenty of resources. Like I said, I do the potlucks. I do multiple of them. Come to those, and there are other vegan potlucks as well. There's a vegan barbecue happening this week. I have my potluck happening on Saturday. Then that vegan barbecues, I think it's happening the next day. So like the veganism movement in Boston is growing, and I'm making sure to share that message of health because we do
Yeah,
also have a lot of unhealthy vegans, unfortunately. So we focus on the health, we focus on the spirituality, we focus on knowing thyself. I think that's the most beautiful thing, is that journey of knowing thyself or taking care of thyself. And like when you raise your vibration too, your connection with your higher self just grows and grows and grows. I've
yeah,
had days where I'm just like high on life, man. Like I don't even need to meditate sometimes. Like sometimes I have a day, it's like in a meditative state the whole day, nothing bothers me. I'm just like, man, this is how life should be, you know? And you
right,
can I can see the difference if I'm in that state and then I go and I eat something like heavily processed or something like that, I can feel my mood change. You just feel it, you just know it now because you get a new perspective. But yeah, surround yourself with, find other vegans around you, surround yourself with vegans because a thing again about food is you actually eat the people that you're around. So it's gonna be harder for you to go a different route if all the people around you are not going that route. You need to be exposed to other people to be exposed to other energy. Because yeah, anybody you come into contact with, you eat a little bit, you take a little piece of them with you. So we eat each other. So that's why it's important, like, who you surround
Mm.
yourself with. If you want
like
to do something new, yeah.
like the energy, like you eat their energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Because we are energy. At the end of the day, we are energy. Everything is energy.
Absolutely. I want to see if you have any questions in the chat. Um, you got one person. I can see the benefits of this lifestyle, and he says you're glowing. You got a lot of comments on here. Hello from the Netherlands,
Yeah. Netherlands. I know a couple people from the Netherlands. That's a can't wait to visit there.
and you got a comment. I can tell Josue is a healer, true and through.
Yeah. If and if you guys are watching you're into numerology, I am an 11 life path. It's also known as a master number. So I am quote unquote the wounded healer. I go through a lot of crap, but I learn from it, and then I share my story and help you guys heal as well. So yeah, it's powerful.
Awesome. So, are you religious at all? If you don't mind me asking.
Not
And if you are, or if you are, or if you aren't, what do you believe in as your faith, as your belief? What do you look towards?
That is kind of like ongoing. I guess I have my own religion. And I don't call it a religion because it's like stigma to it. I just call it's my spiritual journey. It's my life.
Yeah,
Like I said, at my church is nature. You know, that's where I go. That's my home. That's where I go and I feel good and I get rested and I get these organic downloads, you know, because nature speaks to you. The air, the water, the sun, all that, the animals, they speak to you. There are so many messages in nature. I guarantee you walk into nature, you could be in a bad mood. You walk out, you're probably smiling and laughing and running around because that's what nature does. That's our home. That's the frequency we vibrate at, and we are nature. The word human means animated earth. You know, I stopped going to church after I realized I was going to my uncle's church, and he's a great guy, sharing beautiful messages. And at one point, my messages that I was having, that I was sharing, I would go to his church, and he'd be sharing the same message, but he wasn't going out to nature. I'm like, why aren't you going out to nature? You're talking about nature, but you're not going out to nature.
yeah,
And I'd be like, man, it's a Sunday, it's a nice day. I don't want to be in this building. I'd rather be out in nature, like you know. So
absolutely.
eventually, my like told me, okay, you got to get out. You know, you've transcended this. It's time to go on your journey. It's time to expand. You know. So my faith essentially is that God is within all of us. You know, through
Mm,
my journey, through my journey, I asked myself, I was like, who is God? And then I heard the voice told me, God is inside me. God is inside you. You know, and it's true. God is when they say God is everywhere, it's true because God is in everywhere and everything, no matter where you are. God is in this cat right here that's like meowing. She misses me.
wow,
um,
that's your
so
cat. Sounds like a baby
it's
crying.
uh, it's the cat down the road. Like I don't know if you watch Infinite Waters. You're always talking about the cat
Yeah,
down the road. It's the cat down the road. It's a neighborhood cat, but she kind of fell in love with me. I fell in love with her too. That's the thing too. You raise your vibration, and the animals start coming to you, man.
yeah.
The animals looking at you differently. You know,
That's a
it's a
weird
beautiful thing.
that's a weird thing because now that you mention that, ever since I was on my journey of personal developing, rising my higher consciousness and stuff like that, um, I noticed that a lot more animals have just loved me. It doesn't matter what kind of animals, like dogs, cats, even like animals just roaming around outside, like they just all attract to me.
Yeah. Yeah, animals and kids, man. Animals and kids, like these things, they're grounded. Animals are grounded and kids are grounded. Kids are grounded until we put a lot of fear into them. But when they're grounded, when they are, when they know who they are, they're telepathic, they're intuitive, they see energy. They're seeing auras, they're hearing things. That's why, a lot of kids have imaginary friends. They're seeing spirits because they haven't their third eye is still open. But then, of course, we give them the fluoride in their toothpaste and their water. We put a lot of fear in them. We put them in the school and we give them specific information. And we give them bad foods as well. I remember when I was in school, the food I was eating at school was horrible. So it's all, affecting your pineal gland. So eventually, our third eye closes, or our parents think we're crazy, and some kids are put into like mental homes and things like that, or they're told that they have ADHD, schizophrenia. It's
Yeah,
pretty bad out there. And these kids are here, they're old souls. They're here to teach us lessons, but what do? We shun them. We're like, oh, you're not normal. So, we give them all these medicines and things like that, and we make them think that they're crazy. And that's why a lot of us grow up with like low self-worth, and we don't believe in ourselves because our own parents thought we were crazy. So it's like, hey, and it takes a lot to come out of that.
Yeah, that's I definitely agree with you on that, and it's sad, you know. A lot of, not all parents, but the majority of parents growing up learn, not learn, but eventually like end up taking away that creativity and that awareness from their children instead of helping them grow to be like higher beings themselves. You know what I mean?
I'm so glad that it's changing though. We have since as time goes on, more of us are awaking. Like you got parents doing new things. You got
Yeah, it's
more
awesome.
homeschooling happens. Like you got more communities being built, and people are focused on compassion and love, which is the key. That's my message. Like that's why I try to get vegans to stop yelling at people. Like don't yell at other people. Like don't
Yeah.
don't be mad at other humans. Like love and compassion goes a long way. It really does.
So you got a question from Melissa O'Brien. Do you know who that is?
Alyssa O'Brien.
Melissa O'Brien. She's on YouTube. She has a channel
Oh,
herself.
I'm not sure. I might.
Well, anyway, she says, "What do you think about juicing?"
Juicing. I love juicing. I haven't really gotten into the specifics of it. In terms of nutrition, I haven't really delved too much into nutrition, but juicing, I think it's amazing for healing. If you want to do a juice fast, if you want to get high, like naturally, go on a juice fast. It will get you high. It will put you in a place where, like I was talking about floating earlier, juice will get you there. Because it's just it gets rid of the fiber, so it gives your body less work to do. So that way your body can rest and your connection to your higher self can be just a little bit higher. And it's yeah, so I love it. I used to work at a juice bar for a little bit, and it was one of my favorite jobs ever.
I
Like
bet.
making juices, smoothies, acai bowls, bringing healing to the people. And in terms of juicing, it's like magic, because you're putting the herbs in there. You're building concoctions that are really going to clean people out and give them a new perspective, make them feel better. And then you can put a lot of love into that juice, and it makes a difference. It makes a
Yeah,
difference.
absolutely. One of someone on the stream says the cat is his spiritual ally.
Absolutely, absolutely. I've looked into this cat's eyes sometimes, and I'm just like, whoa, like that's amazing. Like there's a soul in there. It's
Yeah, it's awesome.
and and she takes care of me.
So, are you? I'm pretty sure you're into personal development.
Yeah.
How did you get into personal development? Because you did have a significant point in life where you're like, dang, I need to change my healthy habits. I need to change my eating lifestyle. But
Hmm.
what about developing your mindset? What got you into wanting to develop your mindset more? Like, was there a turning point in your life that happened, or?
Yeah. It actually happened after I got rejected. That was one thing in my life. That's one my
Really?
biggest fear is like being rejected, and I got rejected a lot in my life because I didn't have that confidence. I didn't have that self-worth. Even after like I started working out and I was building muscle and everything, and I was like I saw myself as sexy and everything, but like I still had a low confidence. So one day I ended up getting rejected, and then I was taking a shower, and I was just like it really hit me, and I don't know where I just started crying. I started bawling my eyes out. I was like, what is wrong with me? Like I
Yeah.
literally just like why? Like why won't anybody love me? Now I know that I had to love myself. But back then I didn't know. So I was just like crying and I was like hitting the shower wall, and I was just like, man, I need help. I kept on saying, I need help, I need help. And then like I texted my aunt, and I just texted her, I need help. And she says, okay, come in tomorrow. And then I started getting mentored by my uncle. So, he was doing that a lot of self-help stuff. So he was my first mentor into that field. So a lot of my knowledge comes from like the base knowledge, a lot of it comes from him. But yeah, so he started mentoring me, then I started getting into it. And then eventually, spiritual thing happened, and now I realize, man, our mind is the mind is a powerful tool. So is the heart, and we have a lot of, we're like machines. We're like computers.
Absolutely.
There's this hardware here, and that has input in many different ways. And for the most part, many of us are just kind of, gambling our life away. We're not paying attention to what's being put in. So yeah, once I started doing affirmations, started meditating and doing that, Phew, I got hooked. I got
Yeah,
hooked.
yeah, same. I think I think for me, a significant point in my life was I don't know. I don't think there was. I think there was just like a random moment in my life where I'm like, I know there's something different about the world. You know, like
Mm.
I just had a clicking moment in my mind where I was like, I think different. You know, I see different perspectives or different things about certain situations differently than other people. And I was like, I must be different. And then at first I was like, I don't want to be different. You know, I thought that was a bad thing.
Yeah.
And then eventually I started figuring out like, oh shoot, you know, there are other people out there who are starting to sort of discover themselves or starting to discover different things about the world in general. So, you know, that's when I started diving deep. And it was kind of weird because me and my brother kind of started on that path at the same time. And at this moment in our lives, we were separated. You know, we weren't really in contact, but we kind of started on that same journey at the same time. And it was just, yeah, I think it just, you know, it's been getting better and it's been an uphill ever since.
That's beautiful, man, that you and your brother started at the same time. It's that connection, man. Like we're
Yeah,
so connected. Everything is connected. Like with me and my friends, we're like we are even when I don't talk to them, we're learning the same lesson at the same time. We're growing together. Like we catch up, like, oh my goodness, like we're going through the same thing. So like
yeah,
you really do attract who you are because you realize the people that are in your life are kind of living lives similar to you, and then you get to that point where you see yourself in them. That's the thing too about seeing God in everyone. Like because there is a God in everyone. And then when you truly start to get in that path of unconditional love, that really means like seeing yourself in others. And most of my closest friends, like eventually, I'm like, man, like I see myself in you, and that's the beautiful thing. And once you see yourself in somebody else, how can you be mean to that person? How can you be rude to that person?
yeah,
And then you realize everybody, like we are all different and everything, but at the end of the day, we're all God. We all come from the same place. We're just different, statuses, different, we grew up in different places, different languages and things like that. So we get a different perspective, but we all get to co-create this beautiful reality together.
absolutely. That's awesome. I love hearing that stuff. So, how long have you been growing your dreads?
It's been about 7 years. They're actually
7 years.
much longer than this. Right now they're braided, so it looks a little shorter. So there's like three braids in each one right now. I
Yeah,
mean three locks. But yeah, 7 years, and it's been fun. Yeah, I'm so glad I did it.
that's some serious commitment.
Honestly, it's just like when I lifted weights. I didn't even think about the time. I was just kind of having fun with it.
Uh-huh.
When you have fun, time just flies. You don't even realize it.
Right. Was there like a specific reason why you wanted to grow dreads out, or you just wanted to?
Well, at first I wasn't planning on growing dreads, but I knew I wanted to grow my hair. And when I was younger, I wanted to do it, but my mom actually lied to me. She was like, "Your hair's not gonna grow if you try to grow it." I was like, and I believed her. I was like, "Okay, I'm not gonna grow it. It's not gonna
Yeah.
grow." But then later on, I did grow it, and there's a lot of spiritual reasons behind hair. Hair is your antenna. Hair is very sensitive. Hair extends your auric field. So my
Sorry about that.
um, yeah, it's all right. So yes, my hair actually has a lot of energy. Many people nowadays, like if I happen to hug them and my hair touches them, they can feel the energy coming off of my hair. And like sometimes I'll just take my hair and I'll rub it on people's bodies, like it's because it's just there's so much energy here. Hey, cat, what's up?
That's
So
funny.
yeah, the hair is powerful, and they kind of have us like cutting our hair and doing all this stuff to our bodies. That's why like they have barbershops everywhere. And you look into the Bible, there was this one passage where someone was about to go into a fight, and when they cut his hair, his strength was cut in half. So when you have longer hair, especially if they're locked and hair like us African Americans have like this, the curly hair, it's powerful. It's very conductive. There's so much power here. You're more at one with your environment because you're sensing more, you're feeling more. I noticed it the most, especially with like when I have an animal like walking on me, maybe like the tiniest little bug Where there's no hair, you don't feel the little bug. But as soon as the little bug touches a piece of hair, you're like, boom, there's that right there. So it's also protection too. So like if something happens to be on you, it touches your hair, you know there's something on you and you can get it off. And but that's how sensitive your hair is. So they like to say that it's dead, but your hair is not dead. And it's there for a reason. You have this body that literally built itself, that regenerates, and that can just do magical things. So why would we think that our hair is just, useless? But hey, I've I'm kind of passionate about it because during my journey of low self-worth, when I was younger, a kid called me a goat because I had hairy legs. So then through my whole life, I was very insecure about my hair. And then when I got to America, oh man, I shaved my whole body for years and years and years. And I'm so glad that I don't anymore because now it's just much better with it.
So where are you originally from?
Haiti. I was 9 when I first came here.
Haiti. Oh, that's
Yeah.
cool. I didn't know that.
No
So,
accent. It's like, yeah,
huh?
I have no accent because I've been speaking English for the majority of the time that I've been here.
Oh, so did you have an accent when you first came to America?
I think so. For like the first 2 years, maybe.
Yeah, because I definitely would have never noticed because it's like completely gone.
Yeah.
That's
And I
cool.
need to get back to my roots a little bit. I need to visit Haiti and pick up my Creole.
So
I still speak it, but
are you fluent in Creole or?
I mean, I'll understand it and I can speak it, but there's a lot of words that I forget, so I stutter a lot when I'm speaking Creole.
Oh, okay. You got another question. Well, he says, I feel no energy. Will it change if I go vegan?
Absolutely, but it's also not just going vegan. It's about like, changing everything that you're eating. But yes, it will change if you go vegan because especially if you're focusing on the fruits. The fruits will give you energy. And also high water content food. So like when you're eating like rice and stuff and bread and especially meat too, meat is very heavy. Like meat, dairy, and eggs, they cause your body to become acidic. And because your body is becoming acidic, your body has to leach its own nutrients to bring your body back into balance. So your body is working overtime. Not only is it eating something that's not really designed to eat, and also meat has no fiber, so you need fiber to be able to pass things through. So that's why people are dealing with constipation and things like that. And you don't want any issues with your digestion. If you have an issue with your digestion, that's serious. That's a serious issue. Constipation is a serious issue. And if someone is spending like 30 minutes to go to the bathroom, that is a serious issue. But that is something that we laugh at. If someone's fart smells, that is a serious issue. Your fart should not smell. Like that means you have some toxic things inside of you. Now that I'm eating clean, I go to the bathroom multiple times daily. My poop doesn't smell, my farts don't smell. I'm good. I'm clean. And I talk about these things now. Before I didn't really talk about them. But yeah, if you change how you're eating, you'll have more energy because your body won't be working as much. If you eat what you're designed to eat, like when you eat the water content fruits, there's live enzymes in it. When it's the live foods, the live enzymes help you to digest the food. And of course, you have the high water content that keeps everything flowing nicely. And you're made up of mostly water. So if you're not getting enough water, you're not gonna function properly. Water is used for so many things. The water is like a miracle. Water is literally life. And you look at fruit, it's literally like you're walking around with little packets of life. That's how powerful fruits are. So yeah, if you do go vegan, you will definitely have more energy. A week into eating raw, I was waking up at like 5 in the morning every day. I was jumping out of my bed with so much energy. I could go
Yeah.
on to like 4 in the morning and still have energy. Like that's how much that's how much energy like I got. Before then, I was having a hard time getting up, man, and I would just be lazy. And if you're eating the other foods, you get the itis. Most of us, I don't know if you know about the itis. Do you?
Yeah, I do.
We were so
Trust
proud of getting the itis.
trust me, I do.
Proud of We're so proud of like, having dinner, having a big meal, stuffing ourselves, and then feeling like we want to pass out after. That's
Yeah.
not good. A meal shouldn't make you pass out. Like food should give you energy. Food should make you feel alive.
Right.
So when you're eating a lot of foods, the food makes you feel so alive. You're so happy. Like most of the time, I don't even watch TV when I'm watching food because I want to enjoy the food. I'm sitting there, I'm really enjoying it. I'm feeling the food become part of me, and that's the only food that you feel truly becoming a part of you is the raw foods because there's so much water content in it. It's exactly what you need, and your body craves it.
Powerful. Food is a very, very powerful thing. So if you guys are whoever's still watching, I want to make sure that you click the link for Josue's channel. It is I am Josue HearMeRaw. The link is in the description. You can also follow him on Instagram. You're very active on Instagram, right?
Yeah.
Very active. Yep. Very active on Instagram. Very active on Facebook. I'll have the link in the description as well. But you can follow him on Instagram right now if you'd like, and make sure to subscribe to his YouTube channel.
Oh, also too, for that last question, I forgot to mention the fact that to get more energy as well, you got to work on the mind and the heart. Make sure your thoughts, you got to rearrange your thoughts. If you have like limiting beliefs or fearful thoughts, those also drain your energy quite a bit. If you're complaining a lot, that's going to be very draining. If you're getting mad at people a lot, you're getting
Yeah,
angry, it's very draining. So, choose the path of least resistance, which is compassion, which is love, because love is who you are.
absolutely. Mind, body, soul.
Mm.
So I think this is a very important question. A lot of people have been concerned about. So I've seen you naked in a lot of your Instagram posts.
uh,
What's the deal with that?
Alright, so man, like I didn't see that coming. It kind of happened again. I was in nature and I was just sitting there just looking at the water, and then a voice in my head just told me to take my clothes off, and I'm like, okay, I'll do it. So I did it, and I felt amazing. Like I felt like a god. I literally within seconds felt like a god. I was like, oh my goodness. And there's this book called the Essene Gospel of Peace. Apparently, these are the teachings of Jesus Christ that did not make it into the Bible. And there's so much information in these little. There's like a couple of books, maybe 4 or 5 of them, but they're short. And it was beautiful how it started off when I started reading the book because the day that I finally decided to read it, I decided to go outside and lay on the grass. And I was just like looking at the grass, like, man, this grass is amazing. Like, like we look at this grass, we just think it's grass, but it's actually pretty amazing. Grass is powerful. I started reading the book. It literally starts talking about grass. I'm like, wow, that's a synchronicity right there. It literally talks about how amazing grass is. Like, wow.
That's
And
crazy.
then yeah, and then it talks about if you want to heal, what you have to do is you have to go into nature. You have to take off your shoes, which is grounding. We have to connect with Mother Nature. A lot of us don't ground, so a lot of us have rubber between the ground, so we're not getting charged from the Earth's frequency. And your feet are so sensitive, and they gather so much information. And then it said, take off your shoes, take off your clothes, let the water heal you, let the sun heal you, and let the wind heal you. So essentially, allow Mother Nature to heal you. Most of us are clothes all the time. We're wearing clothes. And not to mention, a lot of our clothes are made with synthetic materials that really affect us because we're eating those synthetic materials. They can cause us to get a little bit more like dirtier. So there's a lot of factors that comes into play. But, science has proven this as well. When we're naked, we have more energy. Sleeping naked will give you more confidence. Like there's just so many benefits. Your body is able to breathe because you breathe through your whole body. You also absorb sun through your whole body. So vitamin D is very important. So if you look at people living in the northern hemisphere where there's not when there's winter and there's not a lot of sun, when the sun is out, they need to get as much sun as possible. And if they're only getting it through certain parts of their bodies, and not the rest, they're not getting as much you know. And for women especially, the free the nipple movement is important because bras are very bad for you. Like bras like cause so many things, including like they've been linked to breast cancer as well. Um, but woman's nipple like that needs some sun too. Like they gather a lot of sun through that. So if you look it up, the science is there. It's not as crazy as you might think. We're just thinking it's crazy because we've been kind of programmed in a lot of ways. We've been programmed, and it's funny because a lot of us are not comfortable with our own bodies, and to not be comfortable in your own body is rough. It's really rough. You're gonna have a hard time doing a lot of things in life if you're not comfortable with your body. But that's the one thing it really did for me. I was never fully comfortable in my own body until like I started getting naked. I started looking at myself, started doing like naked yoga, and my confidence just shot way up.
Yeah, it's funny you're talking about the free the nipple movement for women, and I'm always telling my girlfriend because she always has like a sports bra on or like a regular bra because she's a very athletic woman. And I'm
Hmm.
always telling her, I'm like, hey, I was like, you gotta let him breathe, man. Let him breathe. You can't just suffocate him all the time. You know what I'm saying? So she's getting a little more comfortable with that. But I don't think I don't think it'll be a while before she goes out in the sun with nothing on. But you know, she's letting herself breathe a little more,
Mhm.
which is good, and that's important that you're advocate and you stand for that as well.
If
So
she
you
goes to
have,
Hawaii, she'll probably do it because Hawaii, like it's awesome over
yeah,
there.
I think I
Hawaii is
think
the place.
I think once I get, you know, my private island secured, she'll definitely be more comfortable with it. But you have a few more questions real quick from Melissa O'Brien. She says, "Do you use spring water or bottled?"
I right now have been mostly drinking distilled water. I'm planning on getting a distiller. You know, the water that the earth uses to clean everything is distilled water. Like rain is distilled water. The water in your fruit is distilled water. And I've read that, you know, spring water has a lot of minerals that we're not actually able to, you know, to digest completely. And, you know, it comes out and it can even lead to things like kidney stones. I'm not sure. That's just what I've read and seen. I never really had negative side effects on spring water, but I do prefer the taste and the feel of distilled water, even above alkaline water. But for the most part, I'd rather eat my water. So that's like eating watermelons and eating cucumbers and, you know, celery, you know, pineapple, mangoes. You know, if you're eating fruit, for the most part, you're not gonna have to drink water. You can just get your water from the fruit. So that's my preferred way because growing up, I hated drinking water. That's probably why I got kidney stones as well. I hated water. But now that I can eat melons and get my water, you know, hey, that's so much better. I'm getting a meal, I'm getting my water, I'm getting healing, I'm being detoxified. Like watermelon is a powerful fruits are just miracles. You know, fruits are medicine.
I love watermelon, man.
Dude, it's
Another
amazing.
one
Watermelon.
from Emerald Isle TV says, "Have you experienced negative reactions from friends and family?" I'm pretty sure he's talking about like negative reactions in regards to your lifestyle right now.
Yes. Yes, I have. I've gotten a lot of negative reactions, and it really shocked me because sometimes I tend to live in my own little world and forget about other people, so I'm just kind of used to my own thing.
Right.
Uh, to me, like going through this journey, it all just makes so much sense. It just makes sense. And the way that I was living before didn't make sense. So once I found this, where I was like, wow. So I was a little too eager, and I'd recommend for people to, you know, when you start this journey, if you don't like keep a lot of stuff to yourself, especially at first as you're building yourself up, because once you put it out there, you kind of open to criticism, and you might not be ready for it at the time. I definitely wasn't ready for it at the time when it happened. I'm more ready for it now because you know I've been doing it longer and I have friends all around that also have seen the truth. It was a beautiful thing as I was awakening and figuring out these truths. Other people would like be figuring out the same things. Like, oh, so now I'm not crazy anymore. So my family and friends, some of them didn't really see where I was going and they thought I was weird. They thought I was crazy. You know, and it affected me a lot at the beginning. But now that I've found people like me because you know, if you continue your journey and you ask the universe, you know, because you attract what you are, you will attract people like you. You will attract the same people that are also going through that journey. And
Absolutely.
yeah, now I'm not so worried about what my friends and family think. And that's also settled down as well. And most of them are getting there. But, you know, a lot of my friends and family too, they do support me and they like what I'm doing. And of course, on YouTube, oh my goodness, that's the thing. Since I got on YouTube, I share my story. On Instagram, I share my story. Even on Facebook, the support has been absolutely amazing. So the thing is, we're definitely attached to our blood family, but sometimes our blood family, you know, might not be the best thing for us in certain aspects, but you do have a soul family. So, you know, you focus on your soul family, find your soul family, and be around them and grow with them. And eventually, you know, your family might come along, they might not. Even Jesus wasn't accepted by his family at first when he came back, but eventually they saw what he was doing was great, was good, and then they came, you know, then they jumped on board. So many times, you know, the prophet is not accepted in his hometown, but he ventures out, and that's when he's accepted, and you know, things like that.
Nice. So, as a vegan, what do your daily meals look like? Because you know, like you said, food is a very powerful thing, and all humans eat. I think a few would argue that you need to eat in order to survive. Others would argue that you don't need to. But um, What are some daily meals you eat? And I know you're avid, an avid. You're always in the gym. You're working out and stuff. So, in terms of that, because you're always active, you're working out. What do some daily meals look like?
It really does vary. Every day is a little bit different, but I'll say if it's a very active day, let's see, after a gym, my favorite thing to have is watermelon after the gym. I like to an ideal day. I would start my day off with some coconut water. Just in the morning, I don't like to eat as much. I like to wait a little bit. Let the body rest and recover. And eat later on around like 11 or 12. Some days I eat earlier depending on what I'm doing, but I do like to wait. Like the last 2 days, I barely eaten anything. I've kind of been fasting a little bit, and I love fasting because there's a lot of mental clarity, and sometimes we can be controlled by food. For instance, me, I had a lot of food addictions in the past, so fasting really helped me take control over that. But yeah, so my meals would be like maybe I'll sit down and eat like 6 or 7 mangoes. Like the Altafilo mangoes are just amazing. They're just delicious, and I love to just be out in nature when I'm eating them. Important thing too about eating is conscious eating. Make sure that when you're eating, you have good thoughts in your mind, that you're not thinking negatively, that you're not being distracted, and that you're really being present with the food. Like, conscious eating is a meditation in of itself, and you're gonna get more of the nutrients. And make sure you eat as much of the fruit as possible. Um, then I love oranges. I love oranges, like the citrus oranges, grapefruits, pomelos, the sumo citrus. There's so many different types of citrus fruits. When they were in season, I would just eat so much of those. Of course, I love salads too. I love salads. Spinach, kale, arugula, beets, carrots, all that. But then you got the flax seeds, the hemp seeds, chia seeds. Like you can make a really nice salad. Of course, throw some avocado in there, some tomatoes, and you can make
Mm,
a very nice delicious salad. And this is good stuff.
yeah,
And you can make beautiful dressings out of like cashews and of
making
course
me hungry just
avocado.
talking about it.
Yeah, this is health. This is good food, man. And of course smoothies. I love smoothies. I love smoothies. And my favorite go-to smoothie would be like almond milk, bananas, dates, cacao nibs, and sometimes I'll throw like maca in there or some maca or some hemp. But bananas, dates, cacao nibs, and like almond butter or peanut butter if you like peanut butter, delicious. Like it's just an amazing smoothie. But yeah, smoothies are definitely a way to go. Acai bowls are not another way to go. So those are typically those are the things that I eat. When I do eat cooked, I love quinoa. Quinoa is amazing. I love it a lot bit more than rice because rice can be a little bit heavy. When I do eat rice, it's either wild rice or brown rice. I'm not really a big fan of white rice so much. And of course, too, the seasonings matter. I love I'm Haitian, so a lot of our seasonings, like growing up, like we either it had like chicken something in it, or it would have like salt, like the iodized salt, the bath salt, or it could have MSG. The ingredients matter, so make sure you're always looking at the ingredients if you're cooking. That's why like the raw way is a little bit easier because as long as you're getting like organic fruit when possible, you're eating fruit, but when you're cooking, make sure you're reading all the ingredients, that you're not getting the MSG and things like that in there because those do affect you. It's kind of hard to be healthy eating those because then that can lead to food addiction as well.
Right. So, what do you suggest for people who don't have access to um, getting the organic fruits, the organic vegetables, the meals? What do you suggest for people who are looking to change to like a vegan lifestyle or eat healthier just in general?
I would say do the best you can, and just avoid the dirty dozen. So there's a dirty dozen, and then there's the clean 15. So there are some fruits that you can have conventional that are not too big of an issue, like as long as they're not sprayed directly. Like in the dirty dozen, you got things like strawberries, grapes,
Really?
I think yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
if you don't want to eat conventional grapes, right? So definitely look up the dirty dozen, and you want to avoid those fruits. Like don't those fruits and vegetables that are in dirty dozen, you don't want to eat those. But like avocados are fine, pineapples are fine because on those fruits you don't typically eat the skin. So and oranges are fine, so you can take the skin off. You can also if you're eating conventional fruits, you can also do like an apple cider vinegar wash to clean it. So There are many ways to also clean the fruit too. If you are buying conventional, or if you just want to clean your fruit in a natural way, there's that apple cider wash. And I think Whole Foods started using that as well. Um, and then, I'm trying to see if I can get people around me to get together and we could like buy fruit like wholesale to make it a little bit cheaper. So I'm working on that. Also, you can see if there's like any organic farms around you and maybe see if you can help them out. A lot of times, if you can help out a farm, you can get some vegetables for free. So that's something I've
Yeah.
I've done recently, which was pretty awesome. So be creative. Just because you don't have access to it now doesn't mean that you can't. It's all about kind of vibrating to that frequency and believing that if you really want it and you believe that it's yours, you will have it.
What about apples?
Apple is definitely in the dirty dozen, so you wanna definitely do
What's
organic.
what's in the clean? Did you say clean 13? What's in there?
There's the clean 15. There's a lot in
Oh,
there. I
15.
forget which one. It's like watermelon, pineapple, avocado. Papaya is probably in the clean 15. I think even blueberries might be in the clean 15. I don't think blueberries are sprayed on directly. Um, yeah, but yeah, you can look those up, and so yeah, I avoid the dirty dozen, and then I'm not always 100% organic, but I do my best, and that's the goal though, is to be
What
all
about
organic.
bananas?
Bananas are fine, but I still buy my bananas organic because I just like the way they taste. Like Wegmans has the best organic
Dang, I
bananas.
thought
They
you were
just have
gonna upset me. You're like, no, I love bananas.
bananas. Conventional bananas are fine. Like I said, you're not gonna eat the skin, so
Yeah,
you're good.
definitely.
Yeah, even mangoes conventional are fine too. You're not gonna eat the skin. Some of these fruits you can eat the skin or you can juice the skin. So if
Yeah,
you're gonna juice it or eat the skin, definitely get the organic version.
yeah.
Otherwise, then yeah, you can get conventional.
So when you first started transitioning to your vegan lifestyle, was it hard to stop eating meat? Like, did you get tempted by the meats? And like, did you have any urges? And if you did have any urges, how did you fight those?
I'll say the only temptations I had was probably like wings, like barbecue wings, like
Oh
hot
my
wings. I used to
gosh.
love
Yeah.
those. Yeah, I used to love those. And then I also was tempted to eat cheese one time. Like I had brought some pizza from work for my family. I wasn't gonna eat it, but then I smelled it. I was like, oh man, that kind of smells good. But my conviction was pretty good because of the animals and the environment, so I was able to stay on path. The funny thing that happened was like the week when I stopped eating meat, I had two crazy dreams. One dream, I was just like eating a whole bunch of meat. Like I was just like eating meat like crazy. Like it's like whoa,
Yeah.
it's like okay. And then the next dream was I was eating my brother. I was eating,
What?
yeah, I was eating his arm. That was freaking like scary. It's like whoa, because we are eating dead bodies. When we're eating meat, we're eating a dead body. So and
Yeah,
the being and that being wanted to live. So yeah, so that really is like, whoa, that is intense, and that also shows you like what that food does to you. There's a lot of negative energy in that food because if
that's
you look
crazy.
at anything like Earthlings or Forks Over Knives or like any footage what's happening to these animals, they're being treated so bad, and like it's like they're not even they're being treated as things. Not only just in the food industry, but you got the leather industry, you got the wool industry, you got circuses, you got aquariums, you got people racing dogs. There's also the China in China they eat dogs over there. They have actually a dog
That's
meat
crazy.
festival in China.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
crazy.
and these animals are our companions. They're here to help us. They're here to teach us. But we're seeing them as things, as things to use. Like we've gotten so lazy instead of being innovative and doing things differently, we use the animals for everything. Like we use them to make glues. Like you'd be amazed at the things that animal products end up in. We test our cosmetics on them. We test our chemicals on them. We test our soaps and things like that on them. That's
That's
why,
yeah, that's
we
ridiculous.
cruelty free. Man, veganism is like it's a necessary movement because we're not gonna last the way we're going now. So yeah. So
Yeah,
with all of that, it's definitely once you're very well informed, it's much easier to not give in to temptation because if you give in to that temptation, you know what you're feeding, and you
right.
can choose vote with your with what's on your plate. You can vote with your wallet. If you stop buying that stuff, then they will have to stop. We have that power.
Right. So your motivation and determination to help animals, your love for animals, of course, and to live a healthier lifestyle and seeing what happens to these animals is what pushes you past those urges if you ever get them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's powerful.
You have
That's
to know why you're doing it, you know?
Yeah, and that's the one thing that a lot of people miss is that their their why doesn't push them past their urges. So they have to
Mhm.
find something else. But you're a perfect example. Your why pushes you past those urges. You're like you're my oh shoot. My why is so much bigger than me and myself. It pushes past all that stuff. So that's
Mhm.
powerful. And I'm still like myself. I'm still trying to discover why. I think I'm getting better and better, and I think I'm starting to find it. Whereas my why is pushing me past certain urges I have, not just with eating, but with other lifestyle indifferences. They're pushing me past. Um, my why is pushing me past those urges and the certain bad habits that I have.
Mhm.
And I'm like, you know what? This is so much more important than giving in to these things. So,
Mhm.
I don't need anything else to help me. It drives me. So you have another question. Should we be drinking alkaline water?
I don't know. I don't drink alkaline water as much. I've heard it's good for, when you're healing. But once you're healed, you don't really need it as much. I don't think it hurts anything. It also might be like a marketing thing, but I've really been focused on me and my friends. We've been focused on the distilled water. That's the next step, I think.
Distilled
Um,
water.
yeah.
I'm gonna put that in the chat. Distilled water.
But yeah, alkaline water, I think it's good too. It's definitely there's levels to like the different types of water. You definitely don't want tap water because of the fluoride. You don't want to stay away from that. Spring water is good as well. Alkaline water definitely better than spring, but I feel like distilled might be like the top. It just for me at least, it feels good. It tastes good. It's the one I prefer the most. I even over alkaline water. But if I was doing distilled water, I'd be doing alkaline water for sure.
Absolutely. So we all know that you have a YouTube channel. What do you have? 4,000 subscribers now?
Almost.
Almost
Yeah,
there?
yeah.
Getting there. So how long have you had a YouTube channel?
I think in October it'll be 2 years. I
Nice.
think.
You got some nice growth getting on there too. So
Yeah,
two
it's
two years on YouTube.
I remember when I first started, I was like, is anybody really gonna sit there and listen to me talk? Like, but but I did have a YouTube channel before where I was doing videos on the phones, but this one was about myself. So it's like, and I still working on that self-worth. But I went through it anyway, and I'm so glad I did because it brought me so many friends into my life. Like the reason the potlucks I'm having, my friend that helped me start it, Nick Lewis, he actually found me on YouTube. And one of my best friends, Josefa De Silva, she's a fashion designer in Boston. She found me through YouTube, and I've had a lot of people locally like, "See, have I seen you somewhere before? Do you have YouTube?" I'm like, "I've seen your videos." Like, what? I'm like, yeah. So
That's awesome to hear.
it's fun. It's and it really has helped me so much, because at a time when I was so alone, especially here, and the raw vegan movement was not really big here, the spirituality movement wasn't big here at all. But that YouTube brought those people to me, and then we've been working on building that community. So it's beautiful. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. So, do you have any suggestions for new up and coming YouTubers, just for like where they could start, or just in general, any suggestions for new YouTubers?
I would suggest you can always like watch videos on YouTube for like getting tips and tricks from other YouTubers because there's plenty of that information out there. A lot of the successful YouTubers, they want other people to be successful, because there's more than enough for everybody. We don't need to be in that
Absolutely.
scarcity mentality as if like, if they start, they're gonna take away my viewers, things like that. So there's plenty of information out there. I'll say the most important thing for me is to be authentic and to have fun. If you're being authentic, if you're having fun, it's a lot less effort. Don't pretend, don't try to be something that you're not. Don't try to be somebody else. Be yourself because everyone else is taken. And if you're acting, if you're pretending, it's gonna take more energy, and people are gonna see through that. But if you're authentic, if you're being real with people, that resonates. Your energy can speak through the screen. I've had people like watch my videos, even when I'm not out in nature. They say that, you know, my voice and everything is just so nice that when they're looking at me, it's like they see me in the middle of a forest. You know, that's probably why where I'm always at in here, and it's like, you know, I'm in that forest mode. So being authentic and having fun and just, you know, choosing the path of least resistance. Don't try to be something that you're not. You know, don't do yourself a disservice by pretending or being somebody else. Realize and know thyself. Always get to know who you are. Getting to know who you are, then you know, then you'll just be able to flow. You can surrender to life instead of trying to force things to happen, and you can just kind of flow with it. Like my videos, essentially, I just turn on the camera and I just talk. You know, I don't edit
Yeah.
anything. I just allow it to go to come through me. I say, you know, I am a channel for spirit. I'm a channel for God. Like nature is speaking through me. You know, we are instruments of nature. We are of nature, and nature is all about expressing. And you're here. We are here to be an expression of nature. And when we are expressing from our true self, that is when the magic happens.
Awesome. So, who are your top 5 influential mentors in your life?
Top five. All right. So I'll have to say, of course, my uncle, Alan Dagba. He started it. He started me off. He got me on the start of the journey. Alan Watts. Alan Watts is amazing. Definitely
Hold
check him.
on. I think your camera went out. Oh, I think you're back now.
Yeah, I'm not sure why it's going off.
Oh yeah, your camera's out.
Let me see. How about now?
Yep, there you go. You're good.
Okay.
All right. So sorry about that. Keep going.
All right. So Alan Dagba, and then Alan Watts is amazing. Infinite Waters, Ralph Smart. His YouTube channel is Infinite Waters. Like I was watching him before I was even vegan, and I was listening to a lot of stuff that he was talking about. Even back then, I didn't even understand him yet, but now I understand. I'm like, whoa, he's talking about some deep stuff.
Yeah, real
And if
deep.
you watch him enough, like if you watch him enough, you'll notice he also talks about, you know, going into nature and getting naked. Like it's a thing, man. It's a thing. Like swimming in the water with your clothes on versus swimming in the water naked is a totally different thing, man.
Might have to.
It's
I might
amazing
have
how
to
big of
try
a
it out.
difference. And just like you will feel like a god. You know, I've inspired a lot of people to try it either like in their backyard or something or out in nature, and they thank me so much. You know, they're so thankful for that.
Mhm.
Um, Another one would
So what is that
be,
for?
yeah. So
You said
Alan
Alan
Watts,
Dog.
Alan Dogba,
Oh,
Alan, Alan Watts, Alan Dogba, Ralph Smart. Let's see, who's number four? Who would number four be? Hmm, that's a tough one. Well, I guess recently somebody that's really inspired me a lot, I would say, is he goes by the name Cryon. So it's somebody that's channeling this entity. This entity goes by the name of Cryon, and he just speaks in the most loving manner. He has like a preacher vibe to him, so it's like you feel like you're in church, but it's a different type of church. Like, you know, when he talks about God, God is not vengeful. God is not, you know, jealous or envious or anything like that. God is a loving, compassionate being. God is love. And he talks about God being in us and talks about how, you know, we can connect to our higher self 24/7. It doesn't have to be like a temporary thing. You know, we need to become masters. So Cryon, like he's been like if you look up Cryon on YouTube and listen to his channelings, beautiful things. And I would say Abraham Hicks. I don't know if you heard of her. Another person channeling. You know, I love these people that channel. Like their messages are so like deep and profound. I went through like weeks of just like listening to Abraham Hicks because she always talks about being in a vortex. You know, being in alignment. Just like if you fall out of alignment, just get back into alignment. You know, get back to happiness. Get back to that good mood. Remember your connection, and it's just like in that repetition is important. So all these guys I've listed, you know, I've listened to them a lot, and repetition is key. That's how you brainwash yourself. You know, you can listen to these things while you're sleeping and everything. So it's yeah, I would say those are like my five most influential mentors.
that's awesome. I think for me, um, definitely have to be Tony Robbins. I listen to him a lot.
He's amazing.
Jim Rohn. I went through. You know, I'm going to give Ralph Smart his credit because I went through like I think a year and a half where I was just listening to him. He's definitely put me on like an awesome path. So Tony Robbins, Jim Rohn, Ralph Smart. Um, I'm trying to think of people who I look towards all the time. I definitely have to put my dad in there. I just met my father when I was 16, but
Mm.
he's definitely taught me some very important learning lessons. So my dad, and then one more. Who could it be? I don't know. It's definitely a mixture between Dale Carnegie, Napoleon Hill, and then some lessons from Buddha that I've learned.
Ah, Buddha, yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think I'll give the last spot to Buddha because I've definitely learned a ton of stuff from him.
Oh man, I could have said Jesus. How did I forget about Jesus? I love it.
You definitely could have.
Jesus was dope. Honorable
Yeah,
mention. What up,
honorable
Jesus?
mentions. Jesus, thanks, Jesus.
I get called Black
We didn't
Jesus so
we didn't
much.
forget about you.
uh,
So, how often are you exercising?
Lately hasn't been as much as usual. But usually when I do, I like to do around like 3 to 4 times a week. But I do exercise every day. Like I do yoga mostly. I've been focusing a lot on yoga and
Nice.
calisthenics lately, focusing more on like my mobility and my joints. Like for 25 years, I was not able to touch the ground, but I can finally touch the ground now when I'm bending, you know? Like
Yeah.
that's how unflexible I was. I never stretched. But I would say definitely something that moves your body. Dancing is amazing, but stretching and flexibility wise, because if your body is flexible, you're more likely to flow. And once our bodies get stiff, the energy flow stops. And if your energy flow stops, then your chakras get blocked and things like that. So you want to like loosen up. You want to have your energy flowing nicely. When your energy is flowing perfectly, then you just high. It is a nice body high. Working out correctly will give you like the one of the best body highs ever.
Right. So, would you suggest doing what gives your body the ability, the mobility, the flexibility, the agility, instead
Yeah.
of like super high intensity workouts? Or
Yeah, I'll say if you're working out, when I first started working out, I was doing it to look good. I don't do it to look good anymore. I do it because it feels good because my body wants it. And you have to choose the type of exercises because make sure that your joints are being well taken care of. Your knees, your wrists, it's got to be healing. And if you're doing anything high intensity, have something restorative like yoga, something that's gonna take care of your joints. If you're doing a lot of dancing, a lot of running, have something to really that helps your body to recover, that calms the body. Otherwise, I've heard of a lot of people, that love to run, but eventually they can't run anymore because their knees are no longer good. They didn't take care of their joints. So make sure whatever workout you're doing, don't do it just to look good. Make sure that you're feeling good and make sure that it's right for your body and listen to your body. You know, listen to your body. That's really the most important thing. Your body is speaking to you constantly. If you're doing some type of workout and you're always coming out, feeling in pain, pain is good when you're working out, but not all pain. So make sure you know what pain is good and what pain isn't good.
I
So
like that.
yeah.
Listening to your body is very important, and I've heard that from a lot of yoga instructors on YouTube because I do yoga once in a while, especially after my basketball workouts. And I've always heard, listen to your body. And at first, I was very, very flexible, but I would always try to stretch to the point where it sort of hurts. You know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
then I started hearing, listen to your body, and don't don't stretch your body to the point where you're like overstretching, but make sure you make your body feel good again, restore it, like how you were saying.
Mm.
So listen to your body, very important. Um, we're getting towards the end, but I asked everyone that I interview this. What is your why? Like if you could stop everything right now, no matter what it is, and just do one thing or like a few things, what would it be? Why do you do it? And what's the reason? What is your big why? How do you do what you do?
I do what I do because I've realized the answer to literally like all the world's problems. And it's essentially it's love. My message at the end of the day, it's about love, and it's about loving yourself, because there's so much stuff going on in the world right now. Like, it can get pretty overwhelming. If you're watching the news and things like that, and social media, so many people are sharing so many negative things, and you could be like, what can I do? Like, what can I do with all this stuff going on? And the best thing that you can do is to love yourself, is to help yourself first, is to work from the inside out. If you're not taking care of yourself, then you're not going to be able to really help out the world, because you're going to be draining. You got to fill your glass first. So I go out there and share a message of compassion and love. And Cryon talks about this a lot too. And so does Ralph Smart. Because when I first was vegan, I was that angry vegan, and he kept on mentioning how, like, he's inspiring people to go vegan without putting anybody down, without complaining about anybody, and he's still inspiring people to go vegan. I was like, and I never understood that story. And my uncle tried to get me to go that route too, because I was very pushy. And that didn't get me anywhere. It hurt me, and it hurt the people around me. People were even calling me a dick. Like, it was not good. Like, I was a jerk. And I found love, and love has just brought so much more love into my life. So my why is, like, the world needs love more than anything right now. The world needs love, and when we put out that love, when we love ourselves and we cultivate that love, then we put it out. We get that love back, and then what happens? You find the most beautiful people. You start being in the most beautiful environments. You start to laugh. You start to have fun. You stop taking life so seriously, and you see that connection with everything, and you see that as you change your inner world, your outer world changes. So love is why I do this.
That's beautiful, man. I've recently started to discover how important love is, and I've always um, thought up situations in my head, and the one solution I always came back to was is love is as love is a solution to a lot of things, and I would always try to conjure up random scenarios, and then I'm like, it makes sense that love can heal this. And I'm starting to understand how very important compassion, understanding, empathy, love. I'm really understanding how important a lot of these things are, and I'm doing my best to instill that into my character, because a part of me I've always been a sensitive person. I've always been a loving person, and I've always had compassion for others. And at first, I thought that made me uncomfortable at first, because
Mhm.
I would notice and see other people's pain, and I would feel it myself, and it would make me feel uncomfortable, and I'd be like, dang, like I feel bad for them. But now, like, I'm in the position where I can go out of my way to be like, you know what, I know what you're going through. You're not alone, and if you ever need a friend, you ever need some more love, like, I'm here for you.
Mhm.
So I'm starting to understand and realize the importance of that, because when I was younger, I didn't understand it, and it made me feel weird. But now that I'm understanding, I'm starting to take more action towards that. So that's beautiful. Your why is love. That's probably the most powerful why I've heard so far
Mhm.
out of every person I've interviewed. Of why, that's probably the most powerful one.
Love is the highest frequency. And
Yeah,
oh,
absolutely.
what's your sign, by the way? I have to ask.
What's that?
What's your sign? Your astrological sign.
Um, Virgo, I think.
Virgo. All right, all right. Pisces here.
Pisces. What month is that?
February, March. I think February 20th to, like, March something. February 20th to March 20th, I believe. Yeah.
Right.
So
I'm September, so that's Virgo, right?
I'm not sure, but we can definitely talk about that later. But I'm really into, like,
Okay.
astrology and numerology, man. I've looked into those things. In the journey of knowing yourself, I would say look into your numerology, get like a free numerology report. Do your natal chart, which is not just from your birth date, but also the time you were born. So it's like the placements of the planets. It's like where the planets were when you were born, where the moon was when you were born, where the sun was.
Natal
And,
chart?
yeah, natal chart,
Oh,
Natal.
natal chart. Okay.
So you need to know the city you were born and the time you were born as well. And it'll give you all your signs, because you have your sun sign, you have your moon sign, your rising sign, then you have the signs for the planets. So there's a whole bunch of them, and it's amazing what you can find out through that.
Interesting. I'm definitely gonna do some more research on that. That's pretty cool.
It's fun stuff, man. That's another one of our ways of really knowing ourselves, is like, because the world is a reflection of us, as
Yeah.
within, so without. So ourselves is being projected right to us, and that's why these people have been, doing numerology and astrology for a long, long time.
Absolutely. So if you were stranded on a desert island, you could only bring three things with you. What would they be?
Three things. Does this desert island have Wi-Fi or satellite? I could still, do YouTube videos.
Yeah, you could bring that could be one of your things. You could bring like a one of those things that project Wi-Fi, so you can make Wi-Fi for yourself.
Okay, I guess I'll bring like a super high-end like dynamic like satellite phone with smartphone satellite phone that has its own internet, so that way I can still share my
Okay.
story. That's one. Um, what else would I bring? I don't know. I guess since I guess a laptop too to I don't know. I guess my phone, my laptop, and mm, my daughter. I bring my daughter with me.
Oh, you have a daughter.
Yeah,
That's cool. I didn't know that.
she's
How old is
four.
she? Four?
Four. Yeah.
Oh, that's
We,
awesome.
we had fun conquering that island.
Yeah, how often do you see her?
Usually about once a week.
Really? Is that by choice or?
It's how it is right now. Hopefully it'll get better.
Yeah, I only asked because my brother was going through the same thing with his son, and his son is 3. So he recently just got that handled through the court, and now he has 50-50 custody, so he sees him half of the week.
All right.
So I just wanted to I was just asking because my brother just went through that himself.
Yeah. I might have to go through that as well for sure.
Yeah, it sucks, but do what you need to do, especially for your family.
Yeah. Family's important for sure. Yeah. She's definitely a big impact on my life. A lot of my changes that I made happened after she was born for sure. She kind of made me look at myself like, man, what are you doing with your life? Like,
Yeah,
what's going on?
that's hey, that happens when you bring another life into this world.
Yeah.
Your responsibility levels shoot out of the roof. So.
Absolutely.
And after this stream, I can definitely give you my brother's information, and if you ever wanted to talk to him about that, taking that next step, yeah, you could definitely do that.
All right, for sure. Thanks.
Absolutely. What's your daughter's name, if you don't mind sharing?
Jordan.
Jordan. That's nice. That's a nice name.
Yeah, and she's in the 11 life path just like me too. So like if you look into the 11 life path, man, it's rough. We go through a lot, but
Yeah.
we we're here to do some pretty big things. And I can see it in her. Like she's like mad intuitive and like I look at her and like I know she's an old soul. Like she said some of the most amazing things. I'm like, and she also like she wanted to be vegan too. Like she actually her mom
Nice.
was pissed. Her mom was pissed at me. Like she came one day, she was like asking like, "What's in this? Like, what's that?" I was
Yeah,
like, "Oh, that's meat." Like, and she was, "What's this?" I'm like, "It's like." She was like, "I want to be vegan." I'm like, "Really? All right, you know." But of
nice.
course, her mom was pissed, thinking I was brainwashing her. But she kind of came into it on her own. She's very smart.
Yeah, man. Hey, like how it was in our lives, we'll have people that are going to try to tell us and make us do things that aren't beneficial for us. So all I can say is, keep doing what you think is best for your daughter and what's going to be beneficial for her health and her life. Don't let anyone change that, because obviously you're a very wise and influential person to thousands of lives. You have the proof here on YouTube,
Mm,
and it only goes to show like what you're doing and what you're going through is right. So as long as you believe what you're doing is the right thing, by all means, keep sharing that with your daughter, and eventually she'll end up discovering who she is and developing a lifestyle of her own. But at the end of the day, she'll get some things from you.
yeah, yeah. But I've already made sure to like take her into nature, so she's used to the nature scene.
Yeah, that's awesome. My brother does the same thing. They're always at the park or going for hikes and stuff.
Yeah, nature is very important for kids. So important. Like it's crucial, especially because otherwise they get so stimulated by their television and all the toys and all that stuff.
Right,
But you can bring them into nature, they can calm down a little bit.
right. I think your camera went out again.
I don't know why it keeps on doing that. Let's see. There, is it back? Yeah, I don't know.
No.
Could just be my phone acting up, actually. All right, should be back now.
Oh, yeah, there you go. I just wanted to get you back on because we're about to end it soon. So before we end, I wanted to let everyone know, like, where can they find you, like on social media? Where can they get in contact with you, have conversations with you and stuff, and see your content? Where can they find that?
Instagram is my mostly used one, but I've been more active on Facebook as well, and of course YouTube. But in terms of messaging, I think Instagram would be number one. My Facebook has just so many messages right now; it's ridiculous.
Really?
But you can still hit me up on there. Like with Facebook, I feel like it's messy. But
Yeah.
yeah, Instagram, Facebook, are the best places like where you can like meet me. You can probably shoot me a message on YouTube as well. I think they finally put the messages bar on YouTube on the phone now, so it's a lot easier to get to.
Yep.
Or comment one of my videos. I'll definitely see the comment. And yeah, definitely check out my videos. If you haven't yet, I I go deep. I like to go deep. That's like the only place I know how to. That's the only place I know how to go now. Is deep.
Yeah, I've some and a lot of your videos, I find myself just zoned into what you're talking about, and it's sort of like you're watching an awesome movie, and you just kind of forget everything else that's happening around you, and you're just like you're focused in on that message. And sometimes I find myself doing that with the messages that you share. So if you're watching, whoever's on right now, if you're watching the rerun, definitely check out Josue's channel. The link will be in the description. The link to his Instagram will be in the description, and the link to his Facebook will be in the description. But you can contact him by leaving a comment on YouTube or messaging him, message him on Instagram and everything like that. Get in contact with the cat down the road as well. And
Yeah, that has
so
to say.
before we leave, I would love for you to leave our audience with one final message. It doesn't have to be a long one. It could be a short one. It could be a few words. It could be one word. Just a message.
I would say my number one message would be especially now in the terms of like social media, I think, with terms of like followers and likes and things like that, we're looking for outside validation, and that's a big thing for me that I've been working on is like, waiting to be validated by others, by family, by friends, by whoever it may be, but we're looking for outside validation. It's very important that you validate yourself because, as that saying goes, you're going to go to bed with yourself every night. So are you happy with the decisions that you have made? Are you happy with yourself? Are you changing yourself so that you can so other people can like you? That's how I live for the most part of my life, is trying to please other people, but I wasn't pleasing myself. I was changing myself to please others. I was changing myself to belong. And we do a lot of things in order to belong. Going vegan can be pretty hard because every most people are eating meat, dairy, and eggs. So when you go away from that, you kind of feel isolated. So we make a lot of decisions like because we want to belong. A lot of kids don't like meat when they first have it, but everybody else is doing it. So they're like, it's normal, and I want to belong. So don't worry about being isolated at first or being alone or being separated. Once you change your lifestyle, once you start validating yourself and start loving yourself and being yourself, you're going to attract the right people into your life. They're going to come. The universe is going to give you so many signs. It's going to show you that you are supported, that you're not alone. And even if you don't have the physical people there yet, you still have the God in you. You still have the angels. You still have the spirits. There are beings all around that are supporting you, that are helping you to make things happen. So you're never alone. Remember that, and just remember to validate yourself. Make sure to love yourself, and make sure that you're happy with yourself. Take care of yourself. That's very important.
Awesome. Thanks, Josue. I really appreciate you being on the stream. We had some good interaction with a lot of people, and I'm definitely sure a lot of people would check this video um, for the rerun. And again, make sure to subscribe to Josue's channel. It's the first link in the description. Also follow him on Instagram and Facebook. You guys can also subscribe to Ty Speaks. If you're new to Ty Speaks, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We're about to hit 800. My goal is to hit 1K by September. That's been my goal since the beginning of the year. So we're on the road to 1K. But again, subscribe to Jose's channel. If you like this video, make sure you liked it. You're new to Ty Speaks, again, subscribe to the channel. And as always, stay on point in this peacefully chaotic world. See you guys later.
See ya.